Hi, I'm Sam from SkreetKar 3D. Today I'm going to be doing something that was actually requested several times over DMs and also comments on some of my other videos, specifically requesting a engine scan. Um, on this cases, please keep in mind this is a prototype scanner, and also I am on beta software. The Trackit device is actually out frame right here, physically touching it right there. And then if you notice that this is on a GT Mustang, it's uniquely the standard prop rod actually has the hood a little too low, so you can't quite get into the nooks and crannies with the scanner because of the cage. So I actually extended it all the way up with just a piece of wood. It's ghetto, but it works. It's sturdy. Hopefully it's not going to slam down on us, but I am going to try to protect the scanner and not the car because it should just slam shut. Anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and I have some settings set up right now. I am currently in black object mode. If you've seen some of my other videos, I'm a big fan of that. I'm actually extended the scanning distance all the way to 400. I typically don't like doing that, so if we pick up noise, please keep in mind that's going to happen. There are some caveats with the scan. When you're scanning something like the engine bay, you have items that are in your way, so you cannot get a clean line of sight. So whenever I finish meshing it, if I try to do an isolation, a lot of stuff is going to be recognized as floating and remove it. I'll show you that after we complete the scan, but I just want to keep that in mind. You'll look like, okay, we didn't scan a lot of areas, but if I let the isolation tool remove those, then yeah, a lot of the engine's just going to disappear, like connectors and that kind of stuff. We don't want to do that. I'm going to probably try to fuse it within place, so that way we can keep as much data as possible. Now, with that caveat, I may have some unintended noise in the scan. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead, and since I am actually recording on two cameras right now, I'm actually going to set the target point distance to 0.8. Again, this is not really the resolution of the scanner. It's simply what it's displaying. I have two monitors right now. I have the laptop screen right here, and then I have a 50-inch monitor. So I'm going to be looking at both of these, trying to capture as much data and turn everything green as possible. So hopefully I get a good scan, but we'll see. This is going to be uncut. I'm not going to edit anything out of it. So if it takes 30 minutes to fully scan and fully mesh and that kind of stuff, please just bear with me. Fast forward if you need to. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. This is the Trackit device. Excuse me, this is the Trackit scanner. That's the Trackit device. That's what's actually keeping an eye on all these markers. So let's go ahead and see what we got. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and get to scanning. You can see it's picking up quite quickly a lot of this engine bay. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. It's a button on the top of this. It helps you so you can see a little bit better. I'm going to be paying attention to this monitor up top. So let's go ahead and see if we can get to the back of that firewall. Got that steering linkage, or the throttle linkage, cruise control linkage. We'll get a bit of this intake. Now I'm going to try my best to fill this in as much as possible, but please keep in mind that everything is line of sight, and I may not be able to capture everything, just for the simple fact that it is relying on line of sight. Like this strut bar right here, I'm not going to be able to get underneath it, but I can scan it really well. So we're just going to try to get as much of this engine as possible, okay? So, I mean, the track is keeping track just fine. So, our laser, and we're able to scan most of the engine bay. This is working quite nicely. So I'm just going to extend. I'm not going to try to block the screen at all. And we're just going to kind of do like a grid pattern. I'm just going to follow along and get this radiator hose, and I'm gonna try to get this radiator box. Yeah, it's getting that just fine. Okay, to the top of this. And remember, we want to turn everything all green. So now we're gonna get this battery. Try to see if I can get in there. I'm gonna get some of this fender so we can have a point of reference of what we're actually scanning. I'm actually maybe a little too close right there. Some more of that firewall. I mean, right now we're 54 frames per second. You can enter and exit with just that zoom button that's on top of the scanner. We're just gonna try to, we're painting with a laser, so steady hands, take your time with it. I mean, it's not for tracking. I mean, because this right here is not losing track right here. You're not losing track. In fact, I kind of do that sometimes when I'm trying to fill in a particular area like that. But we're just going to get everything we can on this side. This is the power steering box. Reservoir. See if we can get some of this valve cover. Now again, if that strut bar wasn't in there, I know I could probably get in there a lot better, but it's a lot of black parts on this engine bay. Get some of that drive system. But I mean, we can't knock it for tracking right now because it's keeping up just fine. And I mean, I am not doing this computer any favors with everything I got it doing right now. It's only got 64 gigs of RAM. Now that sounds like a lot to some of y'all, but when you're talking about 3D scanning, no, it's not really. It's not quite a lot. This is a cheap computer from Best Buy. I mean, I say that cheap, but it's a cheap gaming laptop. It's a Lenovo 5 Pro, something like that. Or, yeah, Legion 5 Pro. I'm not a gamer. I don't know much about them, so it may be crap. Who knows? It's been working pretty good for me. But, you know, can't fault it. But right now, it's driving a 50-inch 4K that I'm looking at right now. It's driving two 1080p screens right now, or cameras right now. I also have OBS running with some noise suppression going on for this cheap microphone setup that I have. So I have a good bit right there. I'm going to crawl over here. Hopefully I don't knock this piece of wood out of the way. That'd be bad. And we're just going to do kind of a grid pattern. There's the pony. And I mean, remember, everything's line of sight, so we're going to scan it in this range. And to be honest, if I don't see too well, so if I'm a little too close or too far, that's on me. I'm seeing a laptop screen about 10 feet away, so can't really quite look at that monitor. Well, I seem to be okay. So let's get more of this intake. Let's get underneath. Let's get underneath that guy. And again, this is still beta software, which is, I mean, they've had several revisions, but it's doing quite well. Try to get some more of this. I actually may have the to track it a little close right here. Well, I say not. I'm probably in perfect range, but I think I have it too far up on the tripod. I was trying to capture me more. But you see, we're definitely not losing track. So I don't know how many people have scanned engine bays with, you know, near infrared or anything without markers. Have you ever scanned anything this smoothly? Now, I mean, granted, there's a lot of features here for it to keep track, but I mean, I'm still pretty impressed for a laser to be able to do this. For the budget, remember, this thing's supposed to only be like, I forget, I think it's the first 100's are going to be like $3,200 or something like that, which is kind of crazy. But if you don't trust it, then don't buy it. Wait for other people to get them. One of the reasons why I'm doing these videos is, one, I'm a beta tester, so I'm finding problems and I'm reporting them. So if you see a problem with me scanning right now, report it, and I report it back to them, and yell at them and say, hey, someone pointed out something that I didn't see. So that could easily happen. So I'm just going to fill this in, and we're going to stop in a second. To be honest, the old man's arm is getting wore out. But let's just try to see if I can get into all these nooks and crannies. Get my fancy piece of wood. Model T's supposed to be built by wood, so it's a throwback. Let's see if I can get in deep into those. I'm just gonna try to other grid pattern. I'm trying to see if I can get that whale cap kind of complete. I said all I'm doing is painting with a laser. There's no rocket science for what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get this scanned, produce enough frames that we can go ahead and process. But as you see, I'm not taking an extra long time. I mean, a lot of this is green. It's just you're going, and to be fair, there's a lot of black parts on this. So now I'm just, trying the scanner in different orientations. It can only scan what it can see. I'm going to try to just using this fender as a frame of reference. Okay. Just in case you doubt what kind of car it is. Nice chrome emblem. Black plastic grill. Insert, Mach 1 insert. Let me get this filled in. That I'm probably over scanning the living crap out of this, but I want to try to get everything on video. And I was not looking at any screen right there, so if it lost track, it's probably it's probably me jerking this thing around like an idiot. This corner of this box. Okay, pause it. Let's just see what we're at. Okay, so I mean it's not awful. We got a good bit. We're at 20,000 frames. I think I see some stuff over here I don't like. So you picked right back up. There we go. Got some more of this firewall. And that firewall's got black plastic right across the edge of that. Get some of this cowl. Why not? We're here. Trying to force it in there to get some of that valve cover. That's getting in there. And of course I can't get too close because of this cage, but if I was really needing to scan this, that strut tower can come right on off. Yeah, I need to get some more of that guy. Yeah. It's a little too far for where it's trying to scan on that. So let's just trying to maybe see if it picks up something I didn't see earlier. Then we're just going to keep on trucking. I don't know how long it's been. This is probably going to be one of my longest scans because there's just so much junk in the way. But this is probably going to be what a lot of people that's probably new to 3D scanning just assumes that you can just, hop in there and just pick up all this data without really understanding what is in. Oh, okay, get that. Doesn't have an updated pickup. Alright, so I think, pretty sure that's probably the best I'm going to be able to get under there. Okay, let's see. We're at 23,000 frames. Okay. Trying to get more of this. So back down there we have evap canister, I think. There's the ABS pump. Way down there. Okay, for me, I think this is all I'm going to do for this demo. So, go ahead and set your scanner down. Alright. So, I mean, yeah, that's a pretty... We got as much as we could. See, I was trying to get under that bar, but again, that bar is blocking a lot of my points of reference. Got a little bit of the cow, that firewall action, that strut tower. I got a little bit of that firewall. I mean, the inner fender liner. I could get that valve cover a little bit better, but honestly, there's just so much stuff. That intake is blocking between the intake and that. You know, let me try. Yeah, I think it's just I got too much stuff going on. I really wanted to hit that firewall a little bit better. I mean, the fender. Okay. Alright, so let's not make this a 2-hour long video. I'm going to zoom back out. As you can see, that's what we captured. Now, this is with a laser, so that's pretty impressive for me, with no markers. So, just keep that in mind. That's really not that bad. Alright, let's complete the scan. We got 23,917 frames. Quite a bit. I'm saying this is probably going to take about 5 minutes easily. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we're looking at. Yeah, it's not too bad. See, I'm trying to get the front of the engine, and you got a lot of floaters right there, but I could get some of that valve cover, but I couldn't get everything. You got the pony pretty good. Okay, now these are point clouds, okay? Just keep that in mind. We still got a fuse. In light of this being a video, I'm going to fuse at the default. We can go all the way down to... Let's not jump on the cable. We can go down to 0.15, but that would take... Whew, it would probably, with 24,917 frames, that would probably take like 2 hours. Ain't nobody got that time. If I'm doing it for a customer, yes, I'm going to set it and let it do it. But honestly, you would never want to do 0.2 because of the size of this. It's just the area's too large. So I'm just going to let this complete. Let's just see what we got. Now, again, this is just showing what the prototype scanner, the prototype software can do at this time. It's just going to get better from here. They may actually, because of the stuff that I'm trying to do and other beta testers are trying to do, if we encounter a problem, we're going to report it to Revopoint for them to actually try to improve on. They may change the projectors on these things. They might even be brighter and faster and capture even more data. But for right now, I think it works pretty well. As to the scanner, the way it feels and everything, yes, it's carbon fiber. Still got a little bit of a heft to it. It will knock you out if you want to punch somebody. But overall, it's pretty good. No complaints. This one doesn't quite look as heavy duty carbon fiber, but you can see it all actually on the inside. It's like tinted black, but overall the feel of it is not bad. But for just like this, the fact that I actually had to prop it up, and for my peace of mind, because I don't want to forget it, I'm going to go ahead and fix this prop rod situation. Alright, so you can see how far I am from the default prop rod section. I just don't want to leave this and overnight it tries to fall on me. But yeah, at this section, the default prop hood light, you would just not be able to get back here. You would be hitting this. I tried. That's why I decided to do the jank piece of wood method, but it worked. Not every car allows you to go that high with the hood. Luckily on the new Edge Mustangs you can. I honestly, I think it will let you just break the cowl, because I was trying to see if it would like stop the maximum, and I think it would have just kept on going. It's kind of ridiculous that the hinges don't really have a stop. So if you're drag racing, hood pins, and hood pins, because the sucker's just going to come straight back, smack your windshield, and you're going to have a bad day at the track. For this car, she's just going to be a show car, so she's just fine the way she sits. That one, I constantly check that hood. Every time I like leave somewhere, I'm always yanking on that to make sure that I don't have any problems with the hood not being latched. I mean, Ford did the factory on this, so it's fine. I've had that hood probably $180. It's fine, but I'm still paranoid because it's aluminum, so I see it kind of bowling. But sidetracking, let's talk about the scanner. Reason why this is actually really great, I've scanned this engine bay as well as this engine bay several times before with my near infrared scanners, and it struggles a bit because you're always trying to either turn gain way high to see all this black, but then when you get like the bright aluminum parts, you're blown out and you're just going to get straight up noise. That's where kind of the laser comes in. The laser's going to see it no matter what. It's just a amount of how much this material absorbs the projection. Okay, that makes sense. You probably saw that with like the Mini 2 scanners. It's a blue light scanner. It's literally still a laser. It's just projecting with a diode, full field. But the sensor technology is basically the same. It's blue light versus near infrared I can't see, and then like they have white light lasers. But the blue light is really good at picking up details. Problem with the blue light, a lot of materials just absorb the blue light. Just like I'm actually surprised that I can scan that completely. Shocked that this was actually picking up, because most blue lasers have trouble with red. If you ever seen, like, if you ever have a pair of dial glasses, they're either green or they come red lenses, because it kind of cancels out the blue light. So it has to work extra hard to see red, but it will see it and it will scan it, which is pretty impressive. Yellow, white, all those are near infrared. They all suck those up, but certain materials like black plastic bags, for whatever reason, you can scan those with pretty much every blue light will pick that up. Blue light gets on top of like this powder coated valve cover. Actually, I think these powder coated black valve covers, if you go over it, it acts like it's not there. It's just make believe. Okay, so we have the scan. Not so bad. So remember, this is straight up point clouds. Okay, and I probably went over this area way too much. Now, I'm going to show you, now this is fused. I'm going to show isolation. We cannot use that. Even at 0.5 millimeters isolation, watch this. It's going to pick up a lot of valid data. So, please keep this in mind. You see all that? I would say half of that is valid isolation point. It's valid, like laser lights bouncing back. But if I clear this off, we're going to see a lot of the scan disappear. Okay? Reason why is because we have a lot of floating stuff. Okay? So I'm never going to be able to get past a lot of that. So like that valve cover, technically it's still floating because either the intake or some wire loom was blocking it. And I turned it as low as it'll let me go. So I'm going to choose the unpopular opinion. I'm going to leave that there. So now please keep in mind, I took isolation off the table. So if there's noise after we mesh it, it's because I told it to mesh with what it's captured, not what I should be cleaning up. Okay, keep that in mind. That's why I showed you that if I do this, it's going to remove that. You're going to have that problem in near infrared. You're going to try it in every laser scanner, every near infrared, every piece of any type of scanning, because it's going to be doing line of sight. So if I'm scanning the top of this battery, and this right here, this battery handle, if it doesn't get this perfectly all the way right here, this is floating. Unless I got underneath it to actually see all this, it's going to assume this is floating and just delete it. It's going to assume that, oh, that's crap, I cannot, there's not enough, especially with us doing 24,917 frames. Okay, so it takes an average. So that 0.5 millimeter, 0.5% is 0.5% of all this. So it's going to see those sections compared to this like nice big section right here. There we go. All of that obviously needs to be cleared off. So again, I can mesh it like this, and it's probably going to look pretty good, because this is where it has kind of high confidence. But we deleted, I mean, we still got a good bit of that wire loom and stuff. We still got some of the dry belt and that stuff, but unpopular opinion, it does have some junk that I would probably remove. Oh well, we're going to keep it there because looks like there's a bracket right there that I would be, but all these little floaters, these guys right here, I would love for those to go away. But we're not going to, we're going to save time in this video. Now I will do overlap. Overlapping is, I know I did overlap because I kept going over certain spots. There we go. That's going to pick up some of our floaters. Okay, we'll extend this out a little bit better. But I can see that I really wish we can go smaller than 0.5, like 0.1, and just let it capture the little stuff, but I can't. Because I want to see what it looks like with what we got. I do like that, so let's just see if we can catch anything else. Okay. Alright, so that still looks decent. Let's go ahead. I want to do isolation, but I want to try to keep as much data there. So let's go ahead and do, sure. That probably looks good. Let's do 7.5. Yeah, let's do 7.0. Let's just do that. Okay, it says 4 minutes. So let's go ahead and let this process. It may not take 4 minutes. Usually this computer ramps up, and it hasn't ramped up yet, so I think we're going to be okay. It's all about prep work, like I did with extending the hood completely up. If I want to tackle this motor, I'm going to remove this strut tower. If I want to get those valve covers, I would just simply unbolt. It's a hose clamp to that intake. Remove the intake, I can get both of those valve covers just fine. So I could get the top of this motor in less than 10 minutes to 20 minutes of work. This would be the hardest because I would have to get to those one right there. But the intake, I can take that off in 30 seconds. Prep it, then you can scan the motor bay. So, but if you have like the motor pulled out and you're scanning like, you know, the bay, we would have been done in 5 minutes. We would have been able to get over here completely just fine. And then like the battery, if I would have took out the battery, I think it could have probably got this angle, and I probably would have got some more of the, like some of the factory manifolds. But again, it's a demo. I am not trying to falsify anything. I'm not trying to, you know, like scan it, tweak it, and just display one that I spent like a whole day editing and, you know, going back and scanning it and then aligning it, scanning and aligning it. Honestly, that would be the way. If I was doing this myself for a customer, I would capture that, clean it up. I would do the isolation and let it remove what it's going to remove. I would come back and I would just I would tackle it from a different angle. I would start from that side instead of starting from this side. You'd be surprised at how many times your body just moves the scanner, because you have a sensor here, and your projector is broadcasting, okay? Me scanning like this and me scanning like this, it's going to have a different field of view of where that projection's going. And me doing the same movement with my hand. I'm still moving over the same area in the same direction, but it's looking at totally different data. So that's why I kind of like doing this number. But I have found myself, if I scan a lot like this, which I know I scanned, straight up and down like that, I would probably come back and try to force myself to do the same exact movements with the scanner turned to its side, because you're going to introduce so many new angles of attack that it didn't have. And then I would, do another 23,000 and then merge them together. You should have plenty of features for the software to pick up, oh yeah, I know what you're doing, and align them automatically. And then present that as a finished mesh. Then you're going to be surprised at how much you capture. And I mean, that's with just the hood, raised up and leaving everything intact. I think this would look a lot better. But let's just see. Again, I did not do any isolation. It's making me cringe right now to see what it looks like, because I know I saw floaters all over the place. But it is what it is. We're going to show you what an engine scan looks like. So, everything is going to be line of sight. If I'm scanning my arm and I can only scan at this angle, I'm never going to know what this is looking like. You're not going, unless you put like I don't think it works, but I always thought about like putting like a mirror underneath it and seeing if it would. I don't think it bounces the projection back, because it has to be a direct back to the sensor. I think that's how it works, because you can scan like reflective objects. They just show up as like random points. That's where isolation comes in handy, because you think you're scanning a lot of stuff, but everything reflects back. Like when I'm scanning that chrome emblem, it's bouncing back. If you're just staring at it, you can kind of be dazzled by the laser show bouncing back at you. It's not that bad. It's not going to hurt your eyes. Don't scan someone's face with it, but you're scanning, it's just transitory stuff that's kind of getting back to you. But that's why you can scan chrome objects. What they're doing is they're brute forcing points. Basically, you put it on shiny mode, it brings the laser all the way up. It still brings the gain down low, so the ISO, I keep thinking they're more like cameras, are turning, the ISO really low, so it's not getting noise, but you're getting all the laser for it to pick up. So it's brute forcing all those reflection dots. You're just pushing through, kind of like how black mode does. I think black mode, they haven't quite told me what it does, but I think the frames per second seems the same, but I'm thinking the shutter speed. I think it's kind of like a shutter speed difference. Like you can change shutter speeds with your cam while you're recording video, and you can get more motion, or I think that's what it's doing. I think it's getting additional light so it can pick up black. You can put it in, I can definitely scan this no problem in general mode. It's going to take a couple more passes. Probably take me an extra minute to scan this versus in dark mode, and it's just like that. I've seen it with all their scanners. I've always used it. If I can get what I can in black objects, I don't really fool with anything else. General is literally only when I have a can of Ace of Blue, like if I use scan spray. Or fun tip, these guys right here, dry shampoo. You can go to the dollar store, Dollar Tree. Now it's a $1.25 tree, but I'll clean the shelves off. I don't think I'm gonna need to do that now with laser scanners, but I literally have probably 150 of these cans. Every time I see them, I grab them. So I go ahead and do this. And that's right. The problem with that is it's a pain in the butt to wash off. So like I said, if it's a customer's item, I don't try to do, if it's something we can't spray off and wash, I don't use that. I use ASO. But, I loop it into the cost. Alright, well, let's see what we got. Well, tickle me kind of impressed. I think that's pretty damn impressive. with isolation still turned on. Yeah. Yeah, you see we have some floaters. Okay, so I can do isolation now. We're just going to see what kind of floaters it picks up on. And no, I'm not going to delete. I'm just going to see what it gets. But it should catch up a lot. But yeah, see how it goes, oh yeah, like that cap is no bueno. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do, I'm going to try to see it really small again. Usually isolation is my go-to. Usually I will hit isolation, we'll let it just clean off anything it doesn't trust. Let's decide. Let's hit apply. No, because you saw that it removed that bolt. Of course, yeah, it is a true isolation. What I'm trying to capture is these floaters right here. That is a floater with the scan material, but why is it a floater? It's because we can't see behind that bolt. And it's only seeing the nut. It's not going to be able to see behind the nut, and it's actually inside a pulley. So, I mean, is it floating? Absolutely, it's floating. So, yeah. I'm going to go some full screen. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I say that's pretty good for, and it got that valve cover a lot better than I thought it did. I mean, there's the power brakes, the master cylinder right there. So yeah, I did not get there. We did some isolation, and of course I couldn't get. I could not, unless you take off the hood, I'm not going to get this line of attack. I got right here, straight up and down, but I didn't get back there. I'm just pointing this out to people that's never used 3D scanning, that they're just imagining that you can just do amazing work with stuff you can't see. But from the angle that I was focusing on, it's pretty good. Like I said, there's these floaters. There's 100%, and I think we should be able to go a little bit smaller. And I'm going to report that because I think, yeah, you see Ford right on the fuse box panel right there. And I mean, washer fluid. I mean, we didn't go as high as it could. You remember, we fused at 0.75, and then we meshed at only 7, which I think was at 0.7, I think that's where I put it. So keep that in mind. We're able to over here see I was trying to see if I could see, kind of look like the part number was on that mass airflow sensor. So I mean, I can see my strut tower stuff. That Ford came in good. I mean, guys, I think that's very presentable for what you just saw me do. I scanned that engine bay. That firewall looks good. And this is kind of cool. Like, you can see how far it got into it. So we didn't get too far, but we got far enough. Hey, the Ford Pony's still there. Just in case you didn't know what kind of car we were dealing with. So guys, what do you think? I think that's pretty good, honestly. I'm hoping they might give me another beta version, and if they give me a newer version, I'll go and retry and see if it's better, but that's presentable to me. Something that's set up right here. I'm literally touching the Trackit. Pop the hood up, and what do we spend? Maybe 10 minutes scanning, probably 20 minutes processing, but I say that's pretty presentable, guys. And that's not the maximum resolution, too. Keep that in mind. So, anyways, this is Sam Lilly, SkreetKar 3D. Hope you enjoyed this engine scan of a 4.6 liter V8 from a 2000 Spring Edition GT Mustang. See you guys later.